Buy Black Podcast, Episode 18. Amazon Selling Part 2. How to build your own private label brand.
Welcome to Buy Black, the only podcast dedicated to helping you find, connect with, and support Black-owned businesses. We're on a mission to bring consumers and business owners together to ignite the global Black economy. I'm your host, Gerald Jones, and if you're a Black business owner or a socially conscious consumer, you've joined the right community. Ready? Let's get to work.
Hey guys, welcome back to Buy Black, your only podcast dedicated to helping you find and connect with Black-owned businesses. I'm your host, Gerald Jones, and today we are going to be talking about a way that you can connect with your own Black-owned business. A couple weeks ago, did an episode entitled How to Start a Profitable Business Selling on Amazon for Less Than $500. And today we're going to build upon that subject. As you guys already know, this is a business model that I am already working in and kind of learning how it works myself. And so as that's going on, as I'm learning how to build this business, I'm going to be bringing you guys updates on how my business is going, as well as some tips and tricks on how you can start your own business and start making money for yourself. Because obviously, when we talk about the purpose of buying Black, the purpose of buying from Black-owned businesses, it's not just so we can, redirect our dollars towards people who look like us. The whole purpose is so that we can start building wealth in the Black community. And wealth is built through ownership. Wealth is never built through employment, through working for somebody else. Even if you have a really high paying job, it's still a job. You're still capped on the amount of money you can make based on the value that you're bringing to somebody else's company. But if you learn how to create your own money from scratch, at that point, your earning potential is limitless. Your wealth building potential is limitless, because now instead of bringing in money based on probably a quarter of the value that you bring to somebody else's company, because your salary is always degraded, usually about 4 times degraded from what your actual value is to that company. Instead of doing that, your earning potential, your ability to build wealth, it becomes completely unlimited when you own the platform, when you own your business. And it doesn't matter whether that is a multi-billion-dollar business or if it is just a tens of thousands of dollars a year business, it is all yours. And the ability to scale that is exponential, just depending on how you put it together. So as I found this model of beginning with online sales, it's a great way to learn about running a business. It's a great way to be able to make a profit with a very low initial cost of investment. And so I jumped in on it. I'm very excited about how it's going for me. And right now I'm actually dabbling in the next level of this online sales business. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to do a quick recap, or I guess a quick summary of the 3 main business models that exist for selling online, specifically selling through Amazon. So I'm going to do a quick summary of those 3 business models, and then I'm going to recap a little bit about what I talked about in the last episode, which was retail arbitrage, which is the simplest of those business models. And then after that, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the next level beyond retail arbitrage, which is private label selling on Amazon, creating your own brand and selling products under your own brand name directly on Amazon and elsewhere. That's the next step. That's the step that I'm starting to stick my toe into right now. And so I'm going to bring you guys a little bit of what I know from my experience, as well as the things that I've learned from listening to other podcasts, reading other blogs, and actually getting advice from other people who are already in this business. So hang on today. This one might go a little bit long, but everything we talk about here is going to be extremely valuable for you, from the business models online to how to do your initial private label experiment, and then talking about how you can build a brand online by using horizontal integration and vertical integration once you've actually found the right products and you've started to sell and build online. So a lot of stuff we're going to cover today, a lot of very valuable information. And as always, if you hear anything in this show that you think could be valuable to you, or that you feel like you want to know more information about, the very first thing you can do is reach out to me by email, gjones@buyblackpodcast.com. Another great thing that you can do in order for us to connect and stay in touch is to go to Facebook and join the group dedicated for the fans of this podcast. It is called Buy Black Podcast Community. Just go to the group, submit to join. Everything comes to me, so I'll approve you joining the group, and then we can start a conversation and discussion there about building your own online business, as well as any other topic that we might want to talk about, but mainly centered around, supporting Black-owned businesses. All right, so that's enough of me rolling into that. Let's get right down to it on today's topic. So selling online, specifically selling on Amazon, there are 3 primary business models that people use to sell online. Let me back up real quick. A lot of people, when you go to Amazon, a lot of people don't realize that when you're buying stuff from Amazon's website, you're not always buying it directly from Amazon. In fact, I would say very rarely are you actually buying anything directly from Amazon when you go to buy a product from Amazon's website, because Amazon's business model really is just to provide the platform for sellers to come in and sell their products. So when you go to Amazon's website, whatever product you may be searching for, there will usually be a lot of different sellers who have that product. One seller might be Amazon, might be Amazon.com, but there may be 15, 20, 30, as many as 100 other businesses or storefronts that are selling that exact same product on that exact same listing. And so when you start buying on Amazon, the only thing that you know is that you click the button, you want to buy it at this price, and that's it. If the seller that you're dealing with uses something called FBA, which is Fulfillment by Amazon, then that product that you just bought, even though it belongs to a different company, belongs to a different seller, it's stored in Amazon's warehouse. When Amazon gets the order, they pull it directly from their shelves at their warehouse. They package it up for you. They ship it out for you. And from your perspective, everything is coming directly from Amazon. You get your 2-day Prime shipping. You're happy with the product. It's all good. But it's very, very likely that it was some completely different seller that you've never heard of, that you're never going to interact with, who sold you that product. And they made money on their sale to you, and Amazon took a cut. And that's really how Amazon is running its business model when it comes to just the basic buying and selling online right now. Amazon provides a place for people to store their products. It provides the ability to ship those products out to customers for free in 2 days and sometimes even 1 day. And it takes all the hassle off of the seller of trying to handle all of that and handle all the customer interaction. And in exchange, it just takes a cut. Takes a cut for storing the products, takes a cut for actually providing the platform, and it takes a little bit of a cut for shipping out those products, right? But then you get the rest of your money, right? So it's really a genius business model, because Amazon doesn't assume the risk of ownership of those products. When you sell a product on their platform, if it doesn't sell and it just sits in their warehouse, that's not their product. It's your product, which means that you are assuming all the risk. They are just storing the product for you, and you're actually paying them to store it. So it's not any skin off their back if they don't sell it either. And so their model really works well for small businesses and people who just want to get into the initial market of selling online, because it does provide you an opportunity to be a business owner without having to have your own warehouse, without having to, store thousands and thousands of a product in your garage without having to worry about processing every single transaction and managing returns and managing, your customers and all this stuff. Amazon handles all that stuff for you. And so it is a great entry point if you want to get into running your own business and selling online. So that said, the three main business models that people use to take advantage of that platform are one, retail arbitrage, which I talked to you guys about a few weeks ago. That is very, very simple business model where you go out and you physically visit stores in your area and you look for items that are on clearance that are really, really heavily marked down. I'm talking 60-70% markdown. And then you use an app to scan that product and you see what it's selling for on Amazon. And you can see what the price is selling for. You can see how popular it is, how often people buy it, and a lot of other really good information. And then you make a determination right there. Can I sell this product for a profit? And if you can sell it for a profit, you buy it from the store, and then you scan it into your Amazon inventory, you ship it off to Amazon, and then they sell it for you, and you make the profit. And so it's called retail arbitrage because that whole word arbitrage basically means making a profit on the difference between the low price and the high price of a particular product, right? So if I'm buying something immediately, turning it around and selling it at a higher price, and I'm making a profit in between, that's called arbitrage. And so this retail arbitrage is the simplest business model because it doesn't take a lot of money to get started. You can literally just go out in your off time and find whatever products you can sell. You buy them, you send them in, you start making money. It's very, very simple. And if you just continually reinvest your initial profits, let's say you invest $500, right? And on that $500, you come back and you make $750. All right. Well, you reinvest that $750 and you buy more product. And on that $750, you make $1250. All right. So we reinvest that $1250. On that $1250, you make $2,000. And so you can scale that business up by using your profits to be able to buy more and more product that you're going to be able to use to fill in your inventories, right? So it's a very profitable business model as long as you run it right. But it is time consuming. It is extremely time consuming to go out from store to store, walking down the aisles, scanning products after products after products, driving across town to store to store to store. You can hit some really good licks on there, but it does take a whole lot of time. And that's not even to mention actually scanning all the products into your inventory and then shipping all the products off to Amazon and all the other stuff that goes into it. It really does consume a whole lot of time, right? So the next step up from retail arbitrage is called private label selling. Now, this is a business model where instead of going out and finding things on clearance aisles, you actually create your own private label, your own private brand of products. And it doesn't really matter what the market or the industry of your products is. It could be toys, it could be office products, it could be pet supplies, whatever it is. You create your own brand and you start selling your own brand on Amazon. And that's what we're going to talk about today in a little bit more detail. So I'm not going to go too much into it right now, but private label selling is that next step up. It's much more scalable than your retail arbitrage because you're not at the mercy of what stores happen to have in stock. Instead, you are only at the mercy of being able to get your product from your suppliers in whatever amounts it is that you make your order. All right. So there's one thing. It's much more scalable. It's also much more controllable than retail arbitrage because when you're selling things that are on clearance from other brands, that's not your brand. That's not something that you get to control. And those aren't your customers because they're all Amazon's customers. And so really all you're doing is trading time for money when you're doing retail arbitrage. You just have the ability to trade less time for more money with retail arbitrage, but it's still kind of like just being self-employed, having your own job. You're not really building anything that's going to be big or long term. Whereas with private label, you definitely can build something that can be a long-term business directly from from starting on Amazon. All right. And then the last of the three business models that people typically use when they are selling on Amazon, the third is just called wholesaling. All right. And wholesale is it's extremely simple. It's probably the most scalable model for selling on Amazon because it doesn't have a lot of the limitations that a private label business has. So wholesaling, it really is as simple as finding products that are already selling on Amazon. And so people are already interested in them. And then preferably finding those products where the people who are selling those products don't have great feedback. They maybe don't have a lot of great reviews. And the sellers who have that product online are typically not representing that product the way that it should. They're not making the most of that product for that brand online through their presence. And so with wholesaling, you basically find the companies that make those products and you connect with them and you convince those companies to let you sell their product on Amazon for them. So you're purchasing their product from them at their wholesale price, and then you're turning around and you're selling their product on Amazon. The great thing about this is if you're wholesaling somebody else's product, that means they already have brand recognition. They already have people who are searching for and trying to buy that product on Amazon, which means you don't have to pay for advertising or any of those other things. And if there are sellers who are already selling this product who are doing a really bad job of it, you can build a relationship with this company to basically allow you to be one of their exclusive sellers on Amazon. Because companies can make a deal with Amazon, basically say, hey, we want to restrict people from selling our brand of product on Amazon. The only people allowed to sell our product are people who have an invoice directly from us that are licensed distributors of our product that we approve, and anybody else who tries to sell this product on Amazon, don't allow them to do it. So if you start wholesaling products, not only do you have access to the ability to basically purchase whatever size bulk order that you need from this supplier in order to meet the demand online, so you have the ability to scale. You know, if you got a product that's selling 30 units a day, right? So that means that you're selling 200, just over 200 units a week, right? And so let's scale that up just over 800 units a month. So that means that every single month you could be making an order of 800 to 900 units of this product from this company and selling those online, and you're making the profit from the wholesale price to the retail price online on 800 plus units a month. And you scale as large as that customer base is going to support. And not only that, but you have multiple products with a company. You may have multiple companies that you're wholesaling with. Once you get a reputation as a very good seller, as a seller who answers questions online for people on Amazon, who sends out and requests feedback on the product on Amazon, who makes sure that customers get a very good experience with those products, then you get a reputation with those companies saying, hey, this is a great seller. I want this person selling my stuff. And now you can bring more and more companies online. And now you may have multiple different products that are selling, 500 units a month, 1,000 units a month. And you can make big, big money in wholesaling for existing brands. The margins are a lot smaller with wholesaling than private labeling or with retail arbitrage, but you can scale so much faster and so much larger, easily into the millions of dollars in sales. There are people doing it all the time. But those are the three different business models. Typically, people start off with retail arbitrage because it's cheap, it's easy, you can make a really high profit margin on it. And then they kind of graduate into private label selling because it may not be as cheap to get started, but you can still make a really good profit on it. You do have to do your own advertising. You do have to take control of your brand. But at the same time, you have more control and you have the ability to actually build a brand and something that's more than just exchanging dollars for time. And then typically people will go from private label selling to wholesaling. Once you've actually got a good seller reputation online, you've got lots of great seller reviews, you've actually done maybe 1 or 2 wholesale deals before with companies, you can actually just transition from private labeling to wholesaling, scale that business up, and literally build an empire just selling online. So that is a very viable business to get into. I got to be honest, I eventually want to make my way into the wholesale world, but right now I'm just on the cusp of beginning the private label world. And so with that, what I want to do is I want to share with you guys some of the things that I've learned about how to run an Amazon private label experiment, what private labeling really means when you're talking about doing it on Amazon, and how you can turn that into an actual full-scale business for yourself by starting off just selling your own products on Amazon. All right, so let's move into that part. Let's talk about running a private label experiment. All right, so quickly, we talk about private labeling. The first thought you probably have is, okay, but how am I going to manufacture this? I don't have the ability to build a product. I'm not an inventor, so I haven't thought of, or I can't invent a product out of my mind. And even after doing that, how am I going to get it prototyped, and how am I going to get somebody to invest in actually, building it and all of that stuff? All right, it doesn't take all of that. It's so much simpler than that in order to private label. So here's the deal. And I'm keeping it very, very simple here. There are 2 really, really huge online sales platforms that feed off of each other in this world. All right. So the first one you're very familiar with, it is Amazon.com. The other one you may not be familiar with at all. This one is called Alibaba.com, Alibaba.com. Alibaba is like Amazon, eBay, Etsy, Overstock, every online platform rolled into a huge ball, and it would still probably not be as huge as Alibaba.com. All right. With Alibaba.com, you can actually go and you can search for products, and what's going to come back is manufacturers, typically Chinese manufacturers. Most of these manufacturing companies are in China, but just the same way that you would go to Amazon to buy one piece of a product, people go to Alibaba to buy 100 pieces, 1,000 pieces, 10,000 pieces of a product at wholesale prices direct from manufacturers. So how does this play into private labeling? Well, with private labeling, typically what you want to do is you want to find the right product that you feel like you could sell on Amazon, right? Find the right product or product line or family of products that is popular. The type of product is popular on Amazon. You've got an idea for how you might be able to modify that product, how you might be able to change it just a little bit to make it unique to things that are already selling on Amazon. But you already know that people want this product or something like it. And so you find the right product, and there are lots of different tools out there to find these products. And another podcast will go into way more detail about the whole process of searching for different products and comparing products and doing all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to go into that. I'm just going to stop it at you go in and you find the right product. For me, the right product is something that is at least the comparable products to it on Amazon. Those products have a sales rank that is fairly low. I'm talking somewhere under 50,000 typically. So there is a product that is something similar is already selling online. It's selling fairly regularly. It doesn't have a huge amount of competition in selling that product online. So it's popular, but there's not a whole bunch of different companies that are selling almost the exact same thing. And it typically is something that you would be able to acquire in bulk for a reasonably low price, and that you could probably sell for anywhere between $20 and $40 to $50 on Amazon. And size restrictions, something that is typically the size of a shoebox or smaller. All right. So these are the things that I would be looking for to try to find a really good product that would be great for private labeling. So once you found the right product, the next thing you got to do is you got to find a supplier. And this is where Alibaba.com goes in. So if you were to visit Alibaba.com, you have the ability there to kind of create a profile, create a business profile, and go through and you would shop just the same way that you're shopping on Amazon. So let's just say that I found a product that I like on Amazon and I want to find a similar product to it on Alibaba. So go to Alibaba.com, you put in the description, boom, whole list of all of these products come up, all these different manufacturers making either identical or very similar products. So once you've gone and you found a few different suppliers that you may want to try to get a product from, the next thing you need to do is you need to invest in samples from a few different suppliers, because you don't want it's not like an Amazon transaction where you're buying one thing. You know, if I'm going to purchase 500 or 1,000 of something, I don't want to just go in and say, okay, let me make my 500 piece order and hopefully it's a good quality and hopefully, you know, I don't have to worry about defects or any other bad situation with this product. So you want to buy samples, right? Because remember, we're going to be private labeling this. As it stands, when you get things from Alibaba, it's just Alibaba, it's just direct from manufacturer. It's plain Jane. It's simple, right? But you can tell the difference in their quality, right? And every manufacturer is going to have different processes. They'll have different quality standards. And even within the same manufacturer, one product may be really high quality, another one might not. So you always want to make sure that you get samples. So let's say you find 3 different manufacturers that you want to sample from. All right, sweet. So you contact them, you get in communication, you negotiate, find out what the price would be to get a sample of their products. And what I like to do is I like to try to get at least 5 to 10 sample products from them. All right. Normally, a lot of these businesses, they say, hey, our minimum order is 100 or 500 or 200 or whatever. But they will let you buy samples. But they try to send you one, right? I try to get 5 to 10, and there's a reason for that. So let's say I find 3 companies, and I talk to their sales folks. I order samples from those companies. And once I get the samples from those 3 different companies, I'm going to take a look and I'm going to figure out, you know, the quality of the products from each one of these 3 manufacturers. So that's the whole point of the samples. You get them in, take one out of the box, and you just use it. Doesn't matter what the product is, whatever it's meant to be used for, you use that product. If you have somebody else who may be more familiar with this type of product than you, give it to them. Tell them to use it for a few days or a few weeks, and tell them to let you know like what they think about the product, what the quality is, whether or not they would actually use it, anything that could be better about it. You're just getting feedback on this product and whether or not it would fit the market. Now, the reason why I like to get 5 or 10 samples is because not only do I want to check the quality of the product that I'm getting, but I also want to put this thing online and I want to list it on Amazon and find out, will people buy this thing, right? I think people want to buy it from me. I think they want this product, but I don't know until somebody puts their money up and they're going to go ahead and buy it. And it also gives you an idea of just exactly how much you can afford to purchase this product for. Because let's just say you've got a product that you can purchase at $5 per unit, and you're thinking you'll be able to sell it at $25 per unit. But you get the product in, you get the samples in, you take one of them out, and you're manipulating it, doing all this stuff, you know, getting a feel for the product, and you post the others online, right? And you make the description, you take the pictures, you do all the things to make your new Amazon listing, and you list this thing for $25 and nobody's buying it. Right. So you drop the price to 20, you drop the price to 15. And next thing you know, you can sell this product for $12. That's what the market will bear. Well, if you can only get it for $5, you're not going to make any money. You're going to be losing money ultimately on the product that you're selling, because yeah, it's $5 for the product, but then you got to talk about the cost of shipping it from the manufacturer to you. Then you got to talk about the cost of shipping it from you to Amazon. Then you got to talk about the cost of all the fees that Amazon is going to take when you sell your product online. So if you're not able to triple or quadruple at the very least the retail price from your price to acquire your product, you're not going to be making any money. And you don't want to find that out only after you've said, oh, this is a really great product. It's really high quality. I really love using this product. I'm going to go ahead and buy 500 of them and sell them online for $25 a piece. And then you find out that nobody's buying them at that price. And you just basically tossed in a bunch of money that you're never going to get back. You might break even. Rather than doing all that, you go ahead, you take your samples, you post them online, and you find out, one, how quickly do they sell? Two, what price will the market bear on these? And from that information, if it sells quickly and if the price is a price that you can manage, then now but now you're at the point of saying, okay, I like the product from this manufacturer over that one, or this one over this one, right? You find the right manufacturer, and then you're going to negotiate with them your actual price per unit, right? Because they're going to quote you whatever price per unit, but everything is negotiable. So you negotiate down the price to whatever you can manage. If you can, you also want to try to negotiate shipping. Some manufacturers you'll be able to negotiate a discounted shipping or free shipping if you buy, over a certain number of units per order, things like that. And so you negotiate all that stuff out, and now you've got your supplier. So the next piece of this is that you need to actually design the logo for your brand. You need to design the packaging for your brand. And you need to make sure that when you're putting your product out into the market, that it's unique. You've got a unique logo. You've got a unique packaging that it comes in. If there's anything about the product itself that you can modify that's going to make it different from what's already out there selling on Amazon, because I guarantee you 99% of the products that you're buying on Amazon, they started out at Alibaba and they're identical. There are 15 different sellers who have their own private label brands, and they all claim to be different, but they're the exact same, right? So you want to try to make some change, some actual physical change to that product. And with these manufacturers, they can do that, right? It's like, I want to change this. I want to change that. I want this thing to be unique. Whatever unique things you want to do to make that product stand out in the market, get that information to your manufacturer. Make sure that they actually do it. Get more samples back after they've made this modification, so you can make sure that it is the product that you're looking for. But you get your logo, you get your packaging right. You have to make the decision at the point, hey, am I going to have just a basic run-of-the-mill low-cost product, or am I going to try to make it a premium? Because now you're talking about making a premium product with a premium brand name. Your packaging has to be top-notch. Your logo, everything has to be a little bit more of a high-class type logo. Like there's a lot that goes into how you want to position your brand when you put it out into the market. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being a low-cost brand. Just understanding that that's the market you're going after. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, we're going to be a higher quality brand, but just understand that means you're going to have to invest a little bit more money in the packaging. Maybe your product comes with a special case or something else like that. It's going to set it apart in the market. Whatever it is that you do, you manage all of that right now, right? During that point where you've already decided on the manufacturer you want to go with, and now you're figuring out what's going to be the actual cost of this product. What am I going to do to make it unique? What is my packaging going to look like? What's my logo going to look like? And once you get all of that stuff ironed out and you make that first order, now you're in the private label business, right? Now, let's say my first order was 200 units of this product. It's my own product under my own brand name. I can get more of it at whatever point I need to just by making another order directly from the manufacturer of my product that's different from everybody else's. And when I put that product out there on Amazon, it's going to have my business's name and my product brand name on it. And now it's just a matter of me selling this product to the market. That's going to take a little bit more of an investment than just doing retail arbitrage, because nobody is familiar with your brand, which means you're going to have to advertise. You're going to have to use Amazon's sponsored products advertising, which is just another version of pay-per-click, where you pay a certain amount of money for your advertising budget. You build the advertisement that you want to use on Amazon, and then basically for every click that you get, it's costing you a certain amount of money. So now you're having to figure out, okay, what is my cost per click and what is my actual cost per sale? Because not every single click is going to turn into a sale of your product. So how much money is advertising costing me in order to sell my products? How quickly are they moving? And how much can I afford to spend on advertising in order for me to move these products, right? You figure all that stuff out. But once you have done that and your product is online and you have customers and it is selling, you are at the front door. You are on your way to having a very, very successful business, and you're no longer at the mercy of what somebody might have available on their clearance rack, which is great. It's a beautiful thing about private labeling. It's a little bit more work, but it gives you so much more control. All right, so understanding that this is a very, very basic explanation of what goes into this. There's a lot more work behind it, but I'm just trying to give you an overview of how we get there when it comes to building this brand. All right, so you've got your first product. It's in the Amazon market. It is selling, and people are purchasing, and you're making money. The next thing you need to do is you need to start thinking about how are you going to grow this brand, right? It's not about the one product that you put out there to begin with. It's about growing your brand. And so the very first thing that you need to think about is, how am I going to expand my product lines within this same, I don't want to say industry, but within this same market niche? That's what I'm looking for. How do I expand my product lines in this same market niche? Because if I have one product that people are buying, and I know that there are other products that are similar to it, that are aligned with that same market niche, that people are going to be buying as well. And I want them buying those things from me too. And so you go back through the process and you find out, what is my next 2 or 3 or 4 really great products that I could private label under the same brand and get into the Amazon market. Because once you do that, once you've actually got 3, 4, or 5 products that you are selling on Amazon within that same market niche, what you're going to see is going to start to happen is that as people are buying one of your products, right there in Amazon, it always says people also bought XYZ, right? And so your suggestions that come up when people are buying your product are going to start showing your second and your third and your fourth product. Hey, people who bought this also bought X, Y, and Z. And so you start to have a larger share of those customers' wallet when it comes to the products that they're buying in that particular niche. And your name, your brand name, starts to be recognized by customers who are purchasing in that particular market niche. So now you're not only dependent upon one particular product. If that product stops selling, you've got 2, 3, 4 products that are already bringing you in other money. And you can look and say, okay, I need to sunset this initial product. I need to look for a replacement product that's within this niche that can also continue to grow my brand. It just gives you so much more power and control over building your business when you go about it that way. All right. So with all of that said, building a private label business on Amazon, the next thing we need to talk about is how you grow this one-dimensional online sales business into a full scope, vertically integrated brand that you have full control over, right? So those two terms, there's 2 terms here that we're going to talk about. We're going to kind of roll into a talk about vertical integration and horizontal integration. A lot of times when you're listening to podcasts about this subject, or you're listening to other people talk about this subject, you'll hear them say that you need to grow your vertical, right? And what they're meaning by that is that you need to expand the control and ownership that you have of the entire process when it comes to selling your products. In the traditional sense, when we talk about growing a vertical or using something called vertical integration, what you're really talking about is not only do I want to own the brand that I'm selling, but I want to own the manufacturer that actually builds my products. Hey, and I also want to own the parts manufacturers who supply to the manufacturer that builds my product. Oh, and I also want to own the call center that handles all of the calls in when somebody asks about my product. Oh, and I also want to own, and so that's called vertical integration. Vertical basically meaning that from the time that raw material leaves the earth to the time that it is in the hands of a consumer and that consumer is using it and interacting back with a business, you want to own every single thing that is a step in that chain. The more vertical integration you have, the lower your cost of business of having to spend money outside of your organization. If you own all of it, if you control everything in the entire supply chain, now you have the ability to create a conglomerate. And that's just a wealth building machine. All right. So that is vertical integration in the traditional sense. Now, in this world, thinking that you're going to somehow turn your online sales business into the ability to buy the manufacturing plant that made your product, probably not realistic. However, there is a way to do vertical integration in this online sales world that's not quite so all-encompassing, but it's extremely valuable. All right. The other side to this is horizontal integration. All right. So horizontal integration, it really is just what I talked about earlier. It is expanding your product lines. So if I have one product that is extremely popular among this market niche, I want to build 3 to 5 products that are also extremely valuable to the people in this product niche. And then from that 3 to 5, I'm going to build out 10 to 20. And then from 10 to 20 to 50. And horizontal integration is basically saying everything that you could possibly need in this niche as a consumer, you can get from me as a company. You don't need to go to 5 or 6 or 7 different companies to get the things that you need to do the things that you want to do as a consumer in this industry. Just come to me. All right. The example I'm going to use here in a few minutes is in the exotic pets market niche. So if you have great horizontal integration in the exotic pets market niche, that means that not only can somebody come to you to buy the terrarium that they're going to keep their pet snake in, but they can also come to you to get the heating lamp. And they can also come to you to get the habitat pieces that go inside of it. And they can also come to you to get the food. And so everything that a customer could possibly need in order to take care of their exotic pet, they can come to your company. That means you got great horizontal integration. You got all those inline products covered under your brand. Whereas vertical integration is, I own the initial manufacturer that made the parts, and I own the manufacturer that put it together, and I own the sales platform that put it in front of you, and I own the customer service piece of it, and I own everything up and down the chain of getting this product to market for you, right? Horizontal integration versus vertical integration. We want to do both, right? Whenever you're building a business, if you possibly can, you want to do both. You're always looking at, how do I increase my market share with customers? And usually you do that by horizontal integration. And then you want to think about, how do I decrease my costs and increase my ability to control everything in the supply chain? And you do that through vertical integration. What I'm going to talk to you about here is how you apply vertical integration to private label selling online. All right, I'm going to do this quick. So the first thing, we start off, you've got your product and you're selling it on Amazon, right? You're selling it on Amazon. So who owns that platform? Amazon owns the platform. The only thing you own is your product. So the very first step in vertical integration for your private label product will be building your own platform. Sure, it's great to sell on Amazon. You always want to make sure that you can sell on Amazon. But when you don't own the platform, you don't own the customer. One thing you'll find out very quickly when you start selling on Amazon is that there is a very limited ability for you to contact customers through Amazon, and you have no ability to contact them off the platform. So whenever I want to get feedback from a customer, I want them to give me a good seller rating, I can send an email to them through the Amazon platform, but their actual email address is masked. So I don't actually get to see who that customer is, what their email address is. There's no way I could contact them off of the platform. And in the way that I contact them, there's only maybe 3 or 4 approved reasons for me to reach out to a customer. It's like buyer feedback, a problem with an order, something like that. But other than that, Amazon owns that customer. They own that customer's email, their credit card information. They own everything. I'm just a guest on their platform. And I'm only allowed to use that platform so long as I abide by their rules, right? So the first step in vertical integration is I need to create my own platform where I can sell my own brand of product. And that is fairly simple to do in 2017 because we've got this thing called Shopify. And so your first step, create a website. Create a website, integrate Shopify into it so you can do e-commerce. And you build that website around your brand, right? Once you built the website around your brand, you've got your products that are up on the website. You've got advertising going out, whether it's through Google AdWords or anything else like that. You are now selling your own product on your own platform. That is the first step in getting vertical integration with this niche. The next thing that you want to do once you've got that platform up and you're doing your direct selling is you want to expand your ability to service your customer base. You want to build an audience through your platform. And the best way that you can do that today in 2017, start blogging on your platform. Start a podcast about the market niche that you're servicing with your products that you're selling on your platform. So now you've got people who are coming to you to hear you talk about this market niche. You've got people who are coming to you to learn more about this market niche. They're growing to know you and like you and trust you because you're giving them great information. And oh, by the way, when they come to the website, guess what you're collecting? You're getting their email address. Hey, sign up for my newsletter about this market niche. Just give me your email. And you're building an email database of customers who you can market your future products to as you're building out your horizontal integration, as you're building more products that you're putting out into the market. All right. So you're educating your consumer base. You're growing an audience who already loves your product, an audience who already loves you, an audience who's going to be wanting and willing to buy future products that you have coming out down the line. Next step in the vertical integration. Well, who else can I serve? Sure, I'm selling this product directly to consumers, but what about business to business? There's got to be other businesses out there who need this product. So perhaps I can sell my private label product wholesale to other businesses. And now I can sell it in bulk, right? So now bulk sales, yeah, I'm probably going to be making a lower profit margin, but I'm moving a lot more product. I have much more reliable contracts with business to business who are going to be purchasing my product. And so my business is growing. My revenue is growing. My ability to build my company is growing. And then finally, start offering services associated with this particular product, this particular market niche, things that you know that your customer base needs that you can provide. So all of this you can build just by beginning a private label business selling on Amazon, right? It doesn't happen overnight, but you can build a vertically integrated business like this over time with a little bit of patience. And if you choose the right niche and the right products, that are going to be popular with customers. So I know this is all very abstract. So what I want to do real quick is I want to give you an example of what this might look like if you were to do it with a real market niche. All right, so what I said before, the example I'm going to give you is exotic pet supplies, right? And this one came to me a little bit ago when I was thinking, okay, well, what example could I give? I just jumped onto Amazon. I put in, best-selling products, and then I just kind of scanned down and I saw a little terrarium habitat thing, like a little hiding spot for lizards or snakes or things like that. And I looked at the product itself, and it had a sales rank of, I think, like 2,500, which means they're selling a lot of them a day. It was the number one seller within the exotic pets habitats category on Amazon. So it was a really, really popular product, and it was just a third-party brand. It wasn't some huge brand name. So I was like, oh, okay, well, exotic pet supplies. So that's the example we're going to use here, talking about how you integrate. All right, so talking about everything that we talked about before. Here's how you build this business. Let's say first, of course, you reach out, you find manufacturers in China, you find the right product, you get the samples, you do all of that stuff. You build your label, you build your packaging, and you make whatever slight modifications to the product that makes it different from whatever's out there on the market. And let's just say we start like that with the habitat, right? With a little hiding spot, little rock habitat that you would put inside a terrarium. We start off with that one. That's our first product, and it hits the market. We're advertising it. It's selling. And as that product is selling, you see, okay, there are other types of habitat products that I could sell here. So let's say you pick 4 more. We'll keep it even. So you end up with 5 different types of habitat products that you're selling on Amazon, and you're very successful with that. All right, now we want to expand. Well, I know that if you have exotic pets, you usually need heating lamps, or you need heating supplies. And so there's all different types of heating tools out there, whether they be overhead lamps or whether they be pads that go under the terrarium. There's multiple different ways to do it. So let's say you find and say, there's 3 different types of heating devices that I want to be able to offer that are going to be a little bit different from what's out there on the market. You get your suppliers, you get your product, boom, get it branded, you put it out there. Now you're not only selling the habitats, but you're selling the heating supplies. The next way that you integrate horizontally with that, let's just say that you start selling terrariums, something that might fit your brand. It's not just your simple, fish bowl or fish aquarium with the water emptied out. You make some type of modification to where these are some really cool, maybe higher quality, maybe unique terrariums that you're selling under your brand. All of which, again, you can find on Alibaba.com. You can identify, ways that you want to modify a product with a manufacturer. They build it for you. All this great stuff, right? And so now you have a horizontally integrated product line. You are selling the actual enclosures, you're selling the heating devices, and you're selling habitat pieces that go inside of there. Maybe you get into the food, maybe you don't, right? But we'll just start off with those 3. Now, the next step is, as we said, you go out and you create your own website. You integrate with Shopify and you create your own e-commerce website that is around supporting exotic pet supplies. Let's just say you are passionate about that. You're passionate about snakes and lizards and exotic pets of all different kinds, and you've got a lot of knowledge and information about it. Well, right there on your website, you start a blog, right? You start blogging about the best ways to care for exotic pets, things that you didn't know about exotic pets. 15 ways that you can increase the lifespan of your monitor lizard, right? Like, you just start blogging about the things that people care about and that are going to help people to solve the problems that they have, right? Help them be smarter about taking care of the pets that they love. You want to become the place that people come when they want to learn more about their pets, right? Maybe you start a podcast. For me, I tried blogging when I first started this thing, And honestly, I spent hours and hours and hours trying to figure out what to write. And then I spent hours trying to write it. It wasn't really good in my opinion because I don't like to write. I'd much rather talk. So I found out really quickly, hey, a blog isn't going to work for me. Podcast is going to have to be it, right? So maybe a blog isn't you. Maybe it's a podcast. You start a podcast about exotic pets and all those same different things that we were talking about blogging about. Now you're just doing it in podcast form, but you're building an audience around you, around your brand, and around the fact that you love exotic pets and you know all about them. And so they can trust your brand, they can trust you, and they want to buy things from you. All right. So now you've got a blog, you've got a podcast, you've got people coming to your site. They're buying directly from your site. They're buying your products from Amazon. And now you're looking and you're saying, you know what? My products would be great to go directly into pet stores. So now you start looking at getting your products directly into pet stores, setting up wholesale contracts with different pet stores, pet suppliers in your area, or maybe even across the country. And you're selling your products on a much larger scale across the nation because you've got brand recognition, you've got a loyal following, and you've got businesses that are putting your products on the shelf in stores. All right. Next step, I told you the last thing that we're looking at is providing services to people in this niche. Now what happens if you develop a training program that you can sell online that teaches people how to care for exotic pets? 3 modules, 5 different modules about the best way to care for exotic pets, right? Maybe you niche it down even further. Best ways to care for your ball python, best ways to take care of your, Peruvian red-tailed boa. Make it very, very specific, but you're putting out training programs that people can purchase directly from your website to help them take care of your pets. Why would they do that? Well, they already know you. They know that you know what you're talking about because you've been blogging, you've been podcasting. They already trust you because they know that you put out a quality product that they've already integrated into their lives. And now you tell them for $29.99, for $49.99, for $199.99, you can get this full scope training program from me that is going to help you to better take care of your put X exotic pet name in here. Boom. Guess what you are now? You're the expert. You know what you get to do when you're an expert? Write a book, right? Now you write a book. You write a book about taking care of exotic pets. You write a book about your experience in whatever that field is that gave you this love and this knowledge about exotic pets. And you sell that book on your website. Or you give the book away on your website in exchange for an email address. And in all of this, you have now become the go-to exotic pet expert for your entire audience base. You've got products that they love. You've got advice that helps them to take care of their pets better. You've got services that you offer in order to help them be smarter about what they're doing. And you've got a brand that is going to make you, that is already making you a lot of money, helping you become a wealthy person. And you're doing it all by helping other people do the things that they love even better. And you started it by finding a product on a website called Alibaba.com, modifying it a little bit, and selling it on Amazon. This is a realistic business model. This is a realistic path that you can go down. I'm telling you, do a little bit of research about it. People do it all the time. But that's how you build a brand. That's how you build a business. That's how you build wealth. You start small. You start specific with something that you know people need. And then from there, you expand outward through horizontal integration, and you expand upward through vertical integration. And the next thing you know, you are the go-to for anybody to get that product or that service. They know your name. They want your product. They're coming to you. And you're building wealth for your family and for your community. All right. So that is the private label selling model on Amazon. As I said before, I am just getting into this part of selling on Amazon. I actually purchased my first sample product it had to be about a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago. Purchased the first sample product. I threw it up on Amazon. It sold for more money than I was expecting it to. And I was like, okay, so it's definitely viable. It sold within the first day of putting it up there, and I didn't even run advertising on it. And I was like, wow, so okay, this thing can work. So I started with that product, and honestly, where I found my first product, which I'm not going to talk about what the products are because I don't want the market getting saturated with it, but I actually found my first product because I've been thinking about, what am I going to start off with? I've been thinking about this for months. But a coworker of mine actually came into work, and she basically had a similar product to this that she was using at work. And I was like, oh man, this thing is really cool. And so I came home, I went on Amazon, and I bought one for myself. And I was like, oh man, I'd never seen this before. It's a really cool thing. I don't really know how to explain it without, going into detail and telling you what the products are. But basically it was something really cool that kept me focused at work. It wasn't ridiculously expensive, and it also wasn't so much of a niche type thing that I didn't think there was a huge number of people who would be buying it. So I was like, you know what? I could probably take a little bit of a play on this product, and I bet I could get it to sell online because nobody's selling it this way. And so I did my experiment, found a supplier, got the samples, brought it in, played with one of them. Hey, I really liked it. It was fun. It was a little bit different from the product that I started off with that I purchased at first. So I threw them up on Amazon, sold extremely quickly. And so then it was like, okay, boom. Now we need to get our first real order. But when I went back to get my first real order, the price per unit that they wanted for the product that I wanted was way higher than what I would be able to support selling it online. Right, the price that people were willing to pay and the price I was going to have to acquire just did not match. Right, so I had to make a little modification to the product itself, to the product I was going to get initially from manufacturer. I ended up having to switch manufacturers, so I went back through the whole sample products process again. But now I've got the right product at the right price, and now it's just a matter of getting my labeling and my packaging right, settling on terms, and then making my first full order and getting that into the inventory. And with that, I've already got 2 other products that are along the same line, that are in that same kind of niche, that are also very popular on Amazon in their current states, that I've already gone out to get samples, and those will be coming in here within the next week or so. So I'm going to be starting off with three products that are going to be in my horizontal. People call it a vertical. They don't understand vertical integration. They say, got to get vertical integration by getting a bunch of products. No, that's horizontal integration. All right, I'm not going to nerd out on you guys any more than that. But I'm getting my horizontal integration started with 3 products. And then once those products become kind of staples, I'm immediately going to go into building my own platform, because I'm telling you guys, that is where the value is. Whatever business you start, if you only run that business on somebody else's platform, you are missing 99% of the value that you can build, because you don't have the customer. That's not your customer. You don't have the ability to connect with people, to teach people, which is where the long-term value of an audience is. You don't have the ability to take it in whatever direction the market tells you that this needs to be taken. So as soon as you possibly can, with whatever business it is that you're running, if you don't have your own platform online, build your own platform and then start using it to connect with people and to teach people what they need to know about that industry, because that is what's going to get you a long-term audience of folks who want your products, who want your services, who are going to be throwing money at you because you're helping them solve their problems. So that's what is going to come next for me once I get my products off the line. And once I'm able to start building out and growing that vertical, I'm going to come back to you guys. I'm going to tell you what my progress is. May be able to give you some actual, revenue reports,
It'll probably be a couple of months, but nothing that is worth building is built overnight. So the long and short of it is, as I've already said probably 50 times before on this episode, we need to start taking advantage of all the tools that are available to us to build wealth in this 21st century economy. There are so many ways to bring a product to market, bring a service to market, and to start making money happen. Not earning it from somebody else's business, but literally making it come from nothing, from thin air. And when we learn that skill again, when we learn as a community how to make our own money rather than feeling like we need to pay somebody else our time in exchange for them paying us their money, that is when we will begin to really build wealth in our community. It is not enough to just buy from businesses that are already owned by Black people, because more money going into the hands of wealthy people, regardless of what color they are, that is not going to change outcomes for a majority of people in the Black community. Trickle down economics just doesn't work. So whether the owners of the business are Black or white or other or anything, if it's just spending more money in the businesses of people who are already million and billionaires, then we're not really making any progress. It's a matter of re-energizing the entrepreneurial spirit that we have at all levels. It's a matter of people starting with just a couple $100s in their pocket, if that, and turning that into a dream, turning it into $1 million, $2 million, $10 million, $50 million. It can be done. It's done all the time. We need to be the ones making that happen for us. Right? So this is one method of doing it. I am on this path. I am more than willing to share everything that I've learned and everything that I will learn as I continue on this path. If you want to stay up to date on what's going on with this project with me, as well as all the other projects that I've got going on and that other folks in the community have going on, again, join us in the Buy Black Podcast community on Facebook. That is literally just go to Facebook and type in Buy Black Podcast community in the browser. You will find the group, join, and we are going to start having some real conversations in that group. I've seen here over the last week or so, the group size doubled, which is awesome, but it's been kind of quiet, and I'm going to put that on me. I have not been getting the engagement going the way that I should in the group. We're going to change that. We're going to start talking to each other. We're going to start sharing with each other, learning and teaching from each other. And we're going to make this thing work, y'all. Going into 2018, we are going to make this thing big. All right. So final things before we get out of here tonight. Quick update. The website. I want to take the website for Buy Black Podcast live on December 1st. I just sat down this weekend and I wrote all of the copy that's going to go into the website. So it's basically formatted the way that I want. I finally wrote down the copy, everything that I need to put in there as far as information wise, getting that to my developer tomorrow morning. And we should have the website ready to go live by December 1st. Once that website goes live, there are a lot of other efforts and tools and everything that I'm going to start experimenting with, because that's another great thing about a platform. Once you have the platform, you can experiment with a platform. You can try different things. You can see what works, see what doesn't. It really becomes a tool for learning what it is that customers need and that the market needs. So really looking forward to that. Hope you guys are too. Aside from that, again, we also have the app, which is in the Apple Store. So if you have an iPod or if you have an iPad that you are using to listen to the show, rather than downloading it from a Pod Player app, just go ahead into the App Store, type in Buy Black, Black Wall Street, and download the Buy Black Podcast app. You get everything directly right there within the app for the show. You don't have to worry about going and sifting through any other locations in order to find it. You get notifications when new episodes come out. It's really, really convenient. And from what I've heard, it is also extremely easy to use and great looking too. So the Android app is still not out. I don't know what's taking so long for that, but Libsyn is doing all of that. They built the Apple app, they're building the Android app, and so patience is a virtue, I suppose. But once that is out, I will definitely let you know. You can download the app on Android. I will definitely be downloading it on Android so that I can see just exactly what all this wonderful hype is about. But aside from that, just great things. Great things are going on. We are officially in the Christmas holiday shopping season, and I highly encourage you guys, go out there, find a unique product, find a product from a Black-owned business. Don't just get everything from Walmart and Target and Amazon, because there's so many cool and awesome unique products that are out there that are being offered by people in our community. And, you know, not only will you be able to support Black-owned businesses, but you're going to be given some gifts that are absolutely different and unique, and people are going to love them. So be the gift genius this year. Don't get everything from Walmart and Target. Find some good Black-owned businesses. Share their products with your family through gift giving. And let's head into 2018 with a mind and a heart on fire to take control of this economy for ourselves, for our brothers, for our sisters, and for our children in the next generation. All right, that is enough of me running my mouth tonight. I really appreciate you guys going with me on this, and we will catch you in the next episode.
Thank you for being part of the Buy Black podcast community. If you're enjoying the show, I'd appreciate reading your 5-star review in iTunes. Join us next time for another empowering episode.